welcome to dear students. Welcome all. In this video, I am going to start macroeconomics. I completed 3 chapters in microeconomics, MI, microeconomics. One chapter is remaining as per your reduced syllabus. 4 chapters are there in microeconomics. 3 chapters are completed. 1 chapter is remaining. Now I come back to macroeconomics and I will complete all the chapters in macroeconomics, and afterwards I will shift to another 1 chapter that is remaining in microeconomics. So today, from now onwards, I will start macroeconomics. Very interesting subject, that is macroeconomics. And chapter 1, that is introduction to macroeconomics. Let us first understand emergence of both the subject. I didn't explain in the beginning about emergence of microeconomics. But here in this video, I will explain that emergence of microeconomics and macroeconomics as well, both the subject. You are already aware that there are mainly 2 types of economics. They are very important part of economics, that is micro and macro. Economics is mainly divided into 2 parts. There are still many parts of economics, many types of economics. There is industrial economics, labor economics, managerial economics, business economics, mathematics economics. There are a lot of types of economics are there. But here the main types, mainly economics is mainly divided by into 2 parts. That is microeconomics and macroeconomics. So you are aware about microeconomics and you are not aware about macroeconomics. Today I will make sure that you will understand what is macroeconomics and what are the important elements that will come in macroeconomics. So let us first understand how microeconomics emerged, which means how economics emerged. Okay. Microeconomics, there was a great work done by Adam Smith. He is known as the father of economics. Adam Smith is the father of economics. In the year 1772, remember this date, in the year 1772, Adam Smith, who is father of economics, Adam Smith wrote a book called An Inquiry into nature and wealth of nations. This is a very important book that Adam Smith written in the year 1772. Up to this particular year, there was no economics. Economics was there. In the year 1772, Adam Smith wrote this book. Before this date, there was no economics. Economics was there, but it was not a separate subject. It was included into political science. Economics was the part of political science, Rajya Shastra. Economics was the part of political science. But later on, when Adam Smith wrote this book, An Inquiry into Nature and Wealth of Nations, shortly this book is also known as Wealth of Nations. Some people, they won't write the entire name of this book. Some people refer to write only Wealth of Nations. Okay, you can see. In the year 1772, Adam Smith wrote this book. After writing this book, after publishing this particular book, the importance of studying economics as a separate subject will come. Each and every individual who are intellectuals, they advised that economics should be studied as a separate subject and there should be lots of research in economics, because the role of economics is very important in order to make policies for countries economic development. The role of economics is very important. Without having the knowledge of economics, it's impossible to run a country's economy. It's very, you can see any financial minister, they will be having some of the economists around them to guide them to make to formulate economic policies, because those finance ministers are not economists. Whatever plans and programs they bring, whatever economic, I'm talking about economic policies, whatever economic policy that country brings in, they are not formulated by those financial ministers or Prime Minister of India. Those policies are formulated by economists, not by them, not by politicians, not by PM or FM, finance minister. So, because the role of economics is very important. So, as I told you, after publishing this particular book, lot of intellectuals said that economics should be studied as a separate subject, and from there on economics has started studying as a different subject from 1772. So this was microeconomics, and from that point this economics, this type of microeconomics, what was the responsibility of microeconomics then? The responsibility of economics was to solve all economic problems which an economy faces. That is the role of economics then. So still is. I'm not telling you that the role of responsibility is not there in by economics, but then the role of economics was to solve all economic problems from this year to 1929. So to solve economic problems, the role of economics, what is the role of economics? What is the importance of economics? To solve economic problems. Whatever economic problems arises in a country, in an economy, economics will solve those problems. To solve economic problems, that is why economics being studied. So from this year to 1929, from 1772 to 1929, this microeconomics was able to solve all economic problems. I am not talking about India. I am talking about entire world's economic problems. Whatever problems that entire world's economy faces, those problems were solving by microeconomics from 1770 to 1929. So this is the period, this microeconomics policies, the subject matter of or the theories or laws of microeconomics are have been followed and executed, and this microeconomics was able to solve all the problems which were emerged during this time period. So this is how microeconomics emerged. And I written a very important date here, that is 1929. So in this particular year, another type of economics emerged, that is macroeconomics. The reason for emergence of macroeconomics was the Great Depression. So now I am coming to emergence of macroeconomics. Okay, how this macroeconomics emerged. In the year 1929, In the year 1929, world faced the Great Depression. This is called as the Great Depression. The Great Depression. Depression means downturn of all economic activities. Downturn of all economic activities is known as depression. If a country is facing depression, which means that country is not having investment. If a country is not having investment, which means that country is not able to, do all economic activity. If there is no investment in any country or in any economy, that country will be downturned. So investment is very important. Spending money is very important, along with saving. People should not save and people should not spend. There should be balance between both investment and saving. You should not just keep on saving the money. You should not just keep on investing the money. There should be balance between both. These two are very, very important. Investment and saving are very, very important in macroeconomics. If people are just keep on investing, then one day the money won't be there for investment, because if somebody is saving the money, then that saving amount will be transferred to investment. Whatever money that we invest nowadays, that money will go to investment for different purposes. If I go to a bank and invest some particular amount of money, if I deposit a 10,000 rupee in a bank, that means I invested that money. That bank will invest our money to different purposes, because that bank cannot able to hold on money it's with. Okay, so here depression. In the year 1929, each and every countries in the world faced Great Depression. Depression means, as I told you, there would be no investment in any country. That is, there was no investment. Investment means spending money or producing goods and services. That is called as investment. Investment means, simply you can say that, production of goods and services. If there is no investment, that means there will be no production of goods and services. There was no investment, and if there is no investment, that means there would be no production. If there is no production, there would be no employment. People will lose their jobs. Okay? If there is no employment, then what happens? People will suffer. Cost of living decreases. Cost of living decreases. Maintaining cost of living is very important. How many goods that I purchase, that is called as cost of living. Am I getting all the goods which I need? If I am not getting all the goods which I need, that means my cost of living is very less. Maintaining cost of living is very, very important for an economy, for each and every individual. So here, in the year 1929, entire world, especially USA, America, faced a very bad impact on USA. It was faced very horrible experience, that USA, America. Lots of laborers were kicked out from the job because there was no investment. If there is no investment, there would be no production of goods and services. There would be no demand for goods and services. If people are not having money, then how can they buy goods and services? So if people are not having money, they will not purchase goods. If they will not purchase goods, production will be reduced. If production is reduced, some people or some laborers will lose their jobs. Then after that, what happens? Then their cost of living decreases. So this is the chain of effects. Everything goes in one direction. If all economic activities are going on, which means if all economic activities are increasing, then each and every sectors, all economic activities will go in one direction. Remember this. Whatever economic activities are there in a country, they will move in one direction. If they are increasing, all economic activities will be increasing. If they are decreasing, then all economic activities will be decreasing. This is the basic essence of macroeconomics. If any one economic activity is decreasing, that means that decreasing economic activity will bring all increasing economic activities to decrease. This is what happens in an economy. Okay? So, this is what happened in the year 1929. And here one important thing, the Great Depression was new to entire world's economy. Before, such depression wasn't happened. Before 1929, such Great Depression was not happened in the world, and people were not aware about such Great Depression. And this microeconomics policies have failed to solve that Great Depression. Okay, what I told you? The policies of microeconomics for solving all economic problems during from 1772 to 1929. How to eradicate unemployment in a firm, how to increase the total revenue of a firm, and how to decrease the cost of firm. Such things were the subject matter of microeconomics. And depression was the newest thing for microeconomics, and microeconomics policies have failed to eradicate or to eradicate that depression. So that is why another greatest book in the history of economics was written by John Maynard Keynes. Okay, in the year 1936, in order to fight it out, the Great Depression, a famous economist called John Maynard Keynes. John Maynard Keynes. It is very popular name in macroeconomics. And he is known as the modern father of economics. Adam Smith is the father of economics, and John Maynard Keynes is regarded as the modern father of economics. Remember these two names. The father of economics is Adam Smith, and modern father of economics is John Maynard Keynes. In short, he is known as Keynes. John Maynard Keynes, in the year 1936, he published a book called The Theory of Employment, Interest, John Maynard, in the year 1936, has published a book. That book name is The Theory of Employment, Interest, Theory of just a minute. The Theory of Employment, Money and Interest. This book is one of the milestone of in the history in the history of economics. If this book is not written, I think this is my personal opinion that we will not be studying economics. Now, economics would have not been there. So, the importance of that book is that much. So, remember, in the year 1936, John Maynard Keynes has written that book, The Theory of Employment, Money and Interest. Why he wrote that book? In order to eradicate the Great Depression. Okay, in order to eradicate that problem, he wrote that book, and whatever policies that he followed in that book, and he suggested the number of policies to come out from the depression. He suggested, and lots of countries are followed that policies. Even John Maynard Keynes has worked in India. He has worked in the making of economic policies of India. Okay. The policies which he has suggested in that book, and most of the countries are followed that policies, and they came out from the depression. And that is why this book become very famous, and people what they regarded. So this is the new book, and at that time another type of economics has been emerged, and that type of economics is known as the macroeconomics. Okay, so this is how both types of economics were emerged. Okay, micro and macro. So in the next video I will deal with another important aspect of microeconomics and macroeconomics. I will start introduction to both micro and macro. Okay, thank you.